start the way we start. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edu Masa. The only republic within the republic. The only republic with the Kokonte party. That cannot be an easy republic. Minya flag ni anthem pe mateme ho. But me flag I can't anthem. Your flag it minya anthem kakre bi aye ne ese. And I say thank God it's Monday, and as we do it always, we are here to perform one of radio's most important rituals, a ritual that I call That's My Opinion, right here on Joy 99.7 FM. And I say thank God for this platform. So let us all gather and make truth good. Folks, our topic today is neutralize me or no work. Neutralize me or no work. Folks, on the 21st of April, the year 2022, the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOSAC, laid down their pens, computers, telephones and tools over a dispute of neutrality allowance, which was apparently reached with government as far back as January. Now, we the people got to hear of this deal when the agitation started, when the said allowance was not coming, and they got a bit unhappy. Obviously, the public was quite outraged and swiftly condemned it. That, what are you talking about, neutrality allowance? Or maybe because of its initial explanation, which was that those who stayed loyal in the civil service were losing out on the trappings and pegs that those who venture into politics get. So as they hit a stalemate in the negotiations, the strike began. Folks, but I want us to look at this issue from a different angle. Now, first of all, now I haven't done any research to back it, so you can completely prove me wrong. But, you see, I think that as much as about 40% of the civil service personnel are employed out of benevolence and politics. As much as about 40% of the civil service personnel are employed out of benevolence or politics. See, now, once you get in, if you have the influence, what you do is you push an acquaintance to also get in. If a party comes to power, they would also squeeze their members, into various places. Just squeeze one in there, squeeze two in there, and see a boy in Crawford. Now, there's also rumors of those who get to the pension age and then change their names, to hang on a bit longer. So while they are stuffing it with people, there are those in there who don't want to go. And gradually, it's bursting on the seams. So over the years, folks, we have overloaded the civil service year in, year out, year in, just squeeze in, manage They have to find something to do. They have to find a job there. We have to find something here because you can't leave the people to die. So let's just squeeze them in. Folks, some institutions have far more drivers than they have cars. If you look at the amount of cars they have, or sometimes even car, and you look at the drivers on their payroll, you wonder, is every driver going to drive a kilometer per day? Just drive 1 kilometer now, drive 1 kilometer now. But then, if you sack them, are you telling them to go home to die? That's the story. Folks, these are approximate figures, right? But if you take UK with a population of about 70 million, and they have a civil service size of 450,000. You take Ghana with a population of 30, and we have a civil service size of approximately 475,000. It tells you, say, Yapakia tells you, say, Yapakia. But check this out, folks. Now, this is what I want us all to jaw and talk about, and I'll try as much as possible not to talk plenty so that we can talk about it. Check this out. So here we are with the civil service that is so bloated that by the time they pay them, the state hasn't even got money to, resuscitate itself if it goes into a coma. We are dead. We are almost finished. So that's the civil service size. It's a problem there. Folks, if you flick back to the other side, there's a long queue of people who are desperate for jobs. They have finished universities, they have finished their polytechnics, they are also capable, and they need jobs. So if you do any this national youth program thing and like 150,000 people, bang, on there. In fact, this 450 is just the permanent staff. I mean, I'm sure if you add the temporary staff and national service and everything, we'll be, pushing near 700. If you add the NAPCOs and stuff to this, the numbers will be very high. But check this out. So there's a whole queue of people who are looking for jobs. Then there's a whole bunch of people who are fortunate enough to have gotten a job. Now here's what I don't understand. Those who are fortunate enough to get the jobs, and I'm sure we have all heard, we have all witnessed, and I know, yes, by all means, there are some individuals in the civil service who deserve probably the star of the Volta. But the general truth or the general story is that those in the civil service do not pull their weight as much. We hear of attendants. President Mills himself went into some institution and was so angry at how late the people were coming to work. He was so beside himself, woeful. We hear of people who leave early. Those who are there reading papers and, everything seems to be slow and dragging on and everything. Now, I'm just talking about general. I don't want to say everybody is like that, but that's the general relationship we have with our civil service. And so sometimes you take a civil service institution and there's a counterpart private institution which is about 5% of what that civil service is, and you look at the products coming out and you wonder, whoa, what's happening here? But then they argue that, well, we in the civil service are not able to sell our services at market prices, and therefore we are basically producing at a loss. So this is where we are. But then you ask yourself, is that an excuse good enough? Is that an excuse good enough? Is there no way in which we can innovate? But yes, you take look at La Palm. Folks, look at La Palm. You look at it and it's a ghost of itself. Why? Well, maybe the same state that owns it would come and hire the rooms and won't pay, and yet the people who sleep there want all the pegs, the treatments and everything, and they'll leave and go. So if you take La Palm and then you look at Accra City Hotel, and you wonder, why should Accra City Hotel be doing better than La Palm? But it is. Why? Because you mean that free now on Sorenko, sa kofa nkrofo mbigu now on Sorenko. So we have all this thrown in the mix. But my question today, or what I want us to decipher today is, see, usually when a job is on high demand, everybody wants that job. When somebody gets it, even if they say the start time 9 o'clock, by 6, no, because nipa be briasan page and you. So why is it that we have so many people searching, desperate for jobs? We have another bunch who are already in the job, breaking the bank, and yet they don't pull their weight enough to deserve to be there. I'm talking generality here, but just think about it. How come we have a civil service that we are so complaining and, not happy with the way they work? And yet, we have people who are desperate for work. How do you have this two? How do we balance the two? Because I was thinking, for the number of people who are ready to work and desperate and begging, those who are fortunate to have it should be performing miracles. They should be performing miracles. But no, we are not seeing the miracles. And yet still, the queue for the same people who would want the job just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. So folks, that's what I want us to look at today, that what sort of a culture have we built? What sort of a culture have we built to have such, I thought it was demand and supply everywhere. There's demand and supply. And here we are with a vibrant youth that we have all educated, brought them back on the market. And there are those who are fortunate enough to already have a place in the market. And yet, folks, the discontentment of the services we are getting. How is that? But what we are told is that civil service, there are clauses and checks and balances that once you enter, you are in there for life. Whether you produce, whether you don't produce, you are in it for life. You just with a bro, so that you enter. Then that's it. Could there be a shake-up in the system? Could there be a shake-up in the system? How many times will people say, oh, I rang ECG for a meter and I called and nobody came to me. I rang, Ghana Water for this and I didn't get it. I went to this institution and I went there to beg them, oh man, fee me. I mean, that if I were to open the phone line, you hear all these stories and some of them will blow your mind. And yet, our children are out there queuing up for an opportunity to work. But the thing is, we have now sort of made this government civil service and mejuma culture. So even the new ones coming in immediately adopt that culture and just sit there, because you're not the one to come and change it. They will badmouth you, they will backstab you, they will kick you out. You know, bantem. You know, stay late. You know, deliver reports on time. You know, that's not what we do here. So how do we shake up the system? That's why I said today we all need to sit down and talk. We all need to sit down and talk. Because if you look at our population size and if you look at the civil service size compared to other, you know, powers, you know, say, Ghana was at the time when it was collapsing had about 4,000 staff, I'm told, and one plane. At the time it was collapsing, they had 4,000 staff and one plane. The story was that, who do you send home? If you send some home, so let's just keep them all in there until bam, the whole thing went. Until bam, the whole thing went. And one after the other, so many industries have just disappeared. So many industries have just disappeared. And meanwhile, they are producing products which are, you know, there's a ready market. If they were to produce 1 million today to be sold by tomorrow. But somehow, because they are buying they're just unable to produce, function, tip-top. And it has become the general rule, the general sentiment. So I am asking today I don't have an opinion, I am asking, how do we bridge the gap or create this fear to say that if you're fortunate enough to get in, you better sit up. You come to work 2 times late, you are out because there's a queue. Maybe for every position on your desk, they should put 3 people there. These people have applied, so we are waiting for you to slip up near the Omaba. I think I could do a Jumama. They should just come and put a file on your desk. File number 1, number 2, number 3. They have all applied for this job and they are waiting. Over late twice, Abekus and Kofi starting. And then maybe we will set up. But if there's culture that once I'm in, nothing would happen, no matter how long the queue is for people who are waiting to get in, then maybe this is what we will get. So yes, allowance or, you know, pay, you know, which should be worth living in today's world, because even dying is a problem today, let alone living. So yes, once you're in there, there should be pay which should be equal to what job you're doing. But the attitude towards work and the people looking for work, I don't think match up. So maybe you know 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. Hello, who's my first caller?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Nana question.
Nana question, let me hear you.
Oh, Nana, internet crack and say. What has it changed? Conversation, we've had it over and over. And then they can. For how many years now? What has changed? That's what they queued here. We've not seen anything here too. Before 3 years, not everybody is able to go through. Look at the number of graduates from the uni that's channeled out. Free education, a very more than that. The human way is the same job. The same job opportunities, and one yet more graduates will be coming out. The education system is not built in a way for a graduate to be able to stand on its own and rather create employment for others. The education system is not like that. So this wahala, it is what it is.
Kwasi, I thank you very much for calling 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, greeting.
Yes, sir.
This is Papa Ansah.
Papa, let me hear you.
Calling from Latte.
Yes, sir.
Greeting. You see, Ghanaians, you ask yourself, why is it that when you travel outside, you do better than in Ghana? Look at Sama Oil Refinery. We buy refined products to Ghana. We sell it at a higher cost. Meanwhile, this store is standing there useless. And we have more youth outside want to work. Government tells us, so they want a strategic person to come and manage store. So I'm saying, don't you have these big men, that so-called rich men in Ghana, that cannot come together to take store and employ these youth to work? See, Nana, where I'm working, you dare not. You see, it's our time, Ghanaians, please. It's our time we have to strike our mind and work. Because one man told me something. He said, Papa Ansah, don't chase for the money, but work. The money will chase you. Thank you. Great thing.
Thank you very much. Don't chase the money. Just work hard. Just be devoted and dedicated. The money will chase you. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, I'm George.
George, let me hear you.
Yeah, please. It's so pathetic when you hear this kind of statement. The youth today, it is we want fast money. Fast money. We don't want to work. We all want to be in a civil servant, get the same pay, the big fat pay, but we don't want to work. And it's so shame when you go to some of the institutions. It's so shame when you want them to do something for you. No, they will not do it. They will say wait. You wait for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Nobody is minding you, especially the passport office. It's in Chama here. It's very bad. It's very bad. People pay. They will join the queue. They will serve them before they will come to you. Our civil service, I think they should. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, listening to you. 0302216541. I just want to find out, why is it that people are looking for jobs, and yet those who have that same jobs people are looking for don't seem to pull their weight enough? And I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm just saying that's the general feeling, relationship that we get from our civil service, that they are not there for us. Meanwhile, there are people looking for jobs. How does it work? How does it work? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yes, please, this is Ruki from Hacho.
Let me hear you.
So, Nana, one thing is the problem is the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the notion that, a buying the but then we forget that as a year, we've lost what we would eat or what we would depend on. Now, this money we are saying they are buying, is the very taxes we contribute, which is being used to build these institutions. And so we really need a change of mindset and begin to see that this is my money as much as it's for the government. And then now we are good to go. But until we have that mindset, I bet you, we are still going to be the same. And funny enough, those who are complaining that their kids are not getting jobs are the very ones in these institutions and are not working. So the access of what at all is a problem. If you know you want to work, come out and let those capable go in. It's a problem. God be our helper. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God definitely be our helper on this one. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, Eben.
Eben, let me hear you.
Nana, good evening again.
Good evening.
I think you are doing a good job. And as my friend said, until when? The question is until when? You see, Your leadership, I don't know. That there will be one day the youth will stand, and then it will be a problem. It will be a problem, Nana. You see, we need to find a solution. And this solution that you are always bringing it out, they hear it. They also travel. And I don't know, Nana. I have traveled a little bit before. I have seen how YouTube people they work, the way they are struggle. The passion they have to work, I don't know what to say again. You see, sometimes when I see the youth, even sometimes if you employ them, the mindset. Nana, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, my brother. Good evening. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, Nana. Good evening. This is Steven.
Hey, where have you been? Stephen, I want to find out why there are people queuing up, begging for jobs. On the other side, there are people who already have the jobs, but we don't see them wanting or pulling. I don't know. Help me out.
I wish what I would say would be able to make some difference. But, Nana, what I think is that it's about people feeling so entitled to what they do. And people actually feeling they are not really compensated enough for what they are doing. And so I think that last but one previous caller mentioned when you go to passport office or most of our civil service institutions, you pay for a service somebody has been employed to render, and the person wants to take an extra outside what he has been employed to do. It really beats my mind, because that is why you were employed. I have paid for the service of which you would receive your salaries from. Yet I have to pay something extra to get the same service which you would be paid for. I don't know. I just don't understand. And this person is feeling so entitled, and it has become like a norm. If you don't pay, somebody will pay. So what do? You
pay and get your service, and
you need it. It means you have to pay and get the service. Unfortunately, we are also being part of the problem. Until those people move out for those in queue to come, I don't think the problem can be solved. Unfortunately, Nana.
Thank you very much, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana. Thank God for your life. I hope you're doing well.
I'm very well, Ajima, in Community 9.
Yes, sir, as usual.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Looks as if those who queue in the scorching sun are not those people they employ. But maybe once people were queuing, others were already in their rooms, but their names were written. A lady was once saying that when they give you work, take good care of the work, because searching for work is not easy. Sometimes you maybe politically, my banner also. So so far as my government is on, whatever I do, I will still remain in the job. Because we have board of directors, auditors, and supervisors who go around to be checking. But what change? What is the change? Nothing changes. So it looks as if government work there, we don't carry, put it at our shoulder. So people do whatever. But let's sell government job to a foreigner and see how serious people will work. Because when you don't work seriously, you'll be fired. So that's Ghanaian mentality. God be with you.
God be with you too, Ajiman Joseph. Hello, who's talking to me?
Dan.
Dan, let me hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
This is Dan inside the Kwao to do.
Dan, let me hear you.
Okay, so this is simple. Our big men are pretending to be working. They are not doing anything. Our MPs, NC, DC, they are not working. But they always come on radio and they talk as if they are doing something. They are pretending to be working. Now, a national service person who has been given an institution to go and do national service over there, Now, when he goes there, he look at the footsteps of the people over there. If the boss he has been given to is doing a hard work, the one who has come in fresh also do a hard work. If he's doing a lazy work, that is the footsteps the national service person is also picking up. Now, should I be paid for money before you employ me in police services and in soldier, in the army? But they are taking money before. People are paying 80,000, 10,000 before they are employing them. What are those people, what are they going to do? So people are pretending to work. The things that they need to do before they get the work, they don't do it. So it's from the top. This one is not from the down. It's from the top. So when our big men stop pretending to work, and then they will come on radio, they will do press conference and talk as if they are doing something better. This thing will never stop. It will continue and continue again. Our big men should change for we the civilians on the ground to change. This illegal, light, electrical illegal, water illegal, is from the top. The big men are doing it, so if somebody is also doing it, so me, I'm even paying tax, they are not even using the money to do anything better. So after all, I'm not illegal, or illegal, and after all, what? You understand? But if this is the case, the system is working from the top. Do you think if I'm going to do this, I'm even afraid? If the system is working from the top, I've come to do a services. I need to work and work better. But because those that he has gone to meet over there in the government institutions, they are not doing anything. We are following the footsteps of our leaders. Simple. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and thank you for calling 0302216541. Udote says, Nana, the answer is because the civil service is Abayajuma, and we all know we won't carry it. We drag it, and hence its annoying attitude. Until we run our civil service like private ones, nothing will happen. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana. This is Richard from Tema.
Richard, let me hear you.
Yeah, sure. In fact, listening to your program this evening, I'm very much touched in my heart. I've been working for a private company for almost 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that there is something unique about the private company as compared with the state institution. One thing we don't play with at our workplace is discipline, timekeeping, and making sure that you know what you are doing and you get paid according to the work you do. So your payment is not based on something like you deserve it. It is a payment that you receive as a result of your output. So we don't have a situation where someone always comes to sit at one place the whole time, do nothing at the end of the day and get paid for it. That thing is not there. When we check you, we realize your work is not matching our production. We talk to you, disciplinary procedures follow, and we fire you if we cannot cope. But you see, with the private government institutions, you find that there are people who are supposed to supervise and superintend over the works other people do. And they fail to do proper monitoring and proper management of these workers. And you realize that it is no longer the workers, but the management or the people who are supposed to oversee that are not doing their job. And they are the ones who are also taking the bigger chunk of the money. So if you are supposed to supervise me and you are not doing your work, and I come to work, I do whatever I want, and nobody comes to look after me. Because at the end of the day, I will still get paid for the amount I'm supposed to be paid. So you realize that the whole thing is about supervision. If you employ, let's say, a CEO or a minister or someone to take over a particular office, and the person is not bringing any result, the company is not bringing any benefit, and you kept that person, you keep paying him, what are you expecting? There will be no production, and that company cannot function.
Thank you very much.
It is very important that we look at the head.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yes, Nana, this is Van Dyke.
Van Dyke.
Yes.
Have you got the link why it is that we are searching for jobs and those who have it don't care about it?
Nana, me feel say the the only reason and I said the only solution to this problem is who say abuchiri no where hours. Inti hours no say anopa na oba na opon enyumrea. Hours I'll be doing any action you tell. And I think say pressure no our system no so. Inti say wa ubenye jumana. Unye jumana di bedi agoro no. Before obeba no obi aba be for juma. And no ebe my youth ni ye ni abre. Wo da na so sorry na akwa juma mu a. O na enyin say obedu adwuma ya ban adwuma nti no. Obeko anytime bi a wo pe. Because you are dealing with hours. Hours are big channel and you be to our the feel say system meet me a bisa. Young betoy. Ubi answer any bebre.
Thank you very much, brother. Suggesting that why don't we, clocking and do the hourly pay business rather than just pay you a blanket pay. So you come, you biometric yourself in and biometric yourself out, and they know how many hours you stayed at work and probably maybe measure your input. Good evening. This is Yao from Kolebu. My humble contributions. Please go to our institutions today. Example, the DVLA. Try to go through the system yourself. They will intentionally fail you. Now, about the jobs, if you don't know somebody or somebody knowing you, then forget about the job. Our leaders know about these huge problems we are facing today. Our leaders are not doing any job. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yes, Nana, this is Gilbert Boateng Ejare speaking from Danfa.
Gilbert, let me hear you.
Yes, Nana, I really need your contact personally for a very paramount discussion.
Okay.
I'm a visually impaired person. I work with the local government service as an assistant director of administration.
Okay.
And also a student at the University of Ghana School of Law.
Wow.
Yes, Nana, I want us to examine this particular issue shrewdly and sagaciously. As a staff of the local government service, Nana, it is not like people are not ready to work within the civil service and the local government service. Okay. The fact of the matter is that remuneration is very poor.
Okay.
And as a result of that, many staff try as much as possible to also make sure that they do other things to make sure that they fill in the gap. And if you come or you go to the various ministries and district assemblies and municipal assemblies to go and see staff selling a whole lot of items during work hours. And it is not because they are interested or they are ecstatic in terms of what they are doing, in terms of selling things that are not supposed to be sold at the workplace. But Nana, as I have already alluded to, the remuneration is poor. Nana, if you know, I don't know whether you have done a research. The local government service and the civil service, closer, we are the least paid people in terms of government workers when it comes to government salary structure. Okay. Condition of services, very poor. And disparity, there is a huge disparity in terms of the staff, our salaries. Somebody can be working at the ministry, and I may be at the same rank as the person, but for the fact that the person is working at the ministry, that person's salary or remuneration will be better than my salary, because I am working at the assembly. Even within the assemblies, there are some of the assemblies that they have huge internal generated funds. Okay, their IGFs are very huge. So, for example, if you are working at an assembly where the IGF is not good, it presupposes that your allowances and remunerations will not be good, because the government has made it to the extent that the remunerations and allowances are supposed to be paid by the individual assemblies. So if the assembly's IGF is not good, it means you, the staff or the worker, you're also going to suffer for it. And if the assembly's IGF is good, it means the staff is also going to enjoy. And more to it is also that most of our staff are not also ready to go to the various interior areas. So the person wants to be in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi. So if you want to take the person to Achim, Achiase, the person is not ready to go. So it actually breeds redundancy. You go to the ministry or an office where the work is supposed to be done by, say, 4 people, and you go and meet 18 people in an office, and most of them will be there redundantly. So that is an issue where we have to deal that we have to tackle. But for the work, many of us are ready to do, but the remuneration is poor. So that is what Nana they have to deal with, because me as a staff working with the local government service, I cannot even boast owning Pragia self. Nana, I cannot boast of owning Pragia or even Moto, because some of us are taking 1,800, some 2,000, some 1,005. So you can do this research yourself, and you realize that local government service and civil servants, we are really struggling as government workers. The person is working for a minister or a CEO. The person, the CEO or the minister is living a very cozy life. The person is living an affluent life. What do you expect the civil servants or the local government staff to also do? So now we should also look at it from that angle and see if we can arrive at a good conclusion.
Thank you very much for calling, but I beg you take your number down so we speak after, yeah?
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, please, how are you doing?
I'm very well.
We thank God. And then thank God also for Nana Yere and her colleagues for the last time, the education that they gave us.
Good.
You are talking about a great issue that is supposed to help all of us.
Mm-hmm.
We are all people who believe in working for profit, working that we all move on. We're supposed to have plans and then projection that will make sure that those who are coming out from schooling levels are also able to get work. And then we also supposed to make sure that wherever that we find ourselves working, whether it is private or government, we are supposed to make earnings so that when we're supposed to get paid, we can also go to churches and pay our tithes. Some of us should also always think that whatever that we earn, if it is evil, if it is not good, and then we go to churches and pay our tithes and whatever, our nation will still retrogress. Nana, we should sit down and have plans for ourselves, because if we don't do that, always we will fail. We will earn and then we will not make any projection with them. God bless you for always making sure that we think about Ghana.
God bless you too. Bodia in La. Ghana, in 2010, I had the opportunity to tour the factory of Nestle Ghana. And guess what was on the wall? One mistake is one too many. Imagine seeing this every morning before you start work. Would you be joking around? And we are not serious. I know it's a big conversation. It's a huge conversation. If we nitpick, we'll all find a reason. But I wanted to take the issue from the broader look at it. From a broader look at it. So whether the pay is good or whether the pay is no good, there's this general thing that if it's the state-owned institution, then you don't want to die for it. There's that general perception. There's that general perception, say you're buying the idea, we can let it go. And we have let it go. Well, stand by for your news bulletin. The very intelligent Mami is here to give you your news bulletin. Right after that, the Don Dada himself, the man on the ones and twos, Abeku Sankofi, will be playing you songs that we can reminisce and talk and debate as to why it is we can't get the government institutions to work. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. for partnering God on earth to create us. As for me,